What's up, guys? Welcome to Rogue Reviews. My name's Nolan.
My name's Evan.
We just saw King Arthur, Legend of the Sword.
Directed by Guy Ritchie, starring Charlie Hunnam, Astrid Bergès-Frisbey, Jude Law, Djimon Hounsou, Eric Bana, Aidan Gillen, Freddie Fox, Craig McGinley, Tom Wu, and David Beckham. This was an awesome take on King Arthur, I thought. I mean, just the story that we've seen a million times with Excalibur. We've heard this story before, and it is near and dear to everybody. I mean, it's the cool, awesome English lore, you know, of the great King Arthur pulled the sword from the stone. So we know the lineage, we know all the family drama that came with the story, and now we have the guy named Guy Ritchie coming into a guy named Guy Ritchie to come in and do his spin on the film, but he directed Snatch, he directed Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, and he directed Man from U.N.C.L.E. So we got a guy who's extremely talented in a very artsy way of doing quick cuts, quips, and awesome jokes that are very, very British. Now he's going into an epic tale of King Arthur.
Yeah, the thing I was worried about going into this movie was Guy Ritchie's style. Like, watching the trailers, I'm like, is this gonna match with this King Arthur, like, old British, you know, just classic take? And Guy Ritchie's directing style, if you could describe it in a word, aggressive, maybe?
Yeah, unique.
Yeah. He's just
quick.
He's just very distinct, and you know when you're watching a Guy Ritchie film. Mm-hmm. For me, at least, I know a lot of the critics are not liking this movie too much, and I think it must be because of his style. But for me, the style and the story blended beautifully. I thought this movie was just incredible. Like you said, it's just a different take on very early years of Arthur's life and kind of him pulling the sword, and then kind of what happens right after that.
The story as we know it is not quite told in this film. It is like a complete fresh take on King Arthur, other than the sword and the stone and all that fun stuff. It's still there, but don't go into this thinking you're gonna get the same old tale of King Arthur. And I'm gonna guess that's why there's bad reviews, or why the critics aren't liking it, because it's totally a fresh take on it, and we might be missing some of that depth that the story has to offer with being so rich in lore.
That was one of the main complaints I had with this movie. Is we all know Merlin plays a big role in the King Arthur story, and they just mention him by name and they show him from behind once, and you're like, oh, they're gonna reveal him, and they never do. They just dance around the subject, and it's kind of like it wouldn't have made the movie worse if you had them there. I think it would have enhanced the movie, because this movie, if anything, with the King Arthur lore, what it does is it brings back magic in a big way. You know, some of the other King Arthur movies we've seen are very grounded in reality and just kind of like, oh, this is a very more historical take. This is, like we said before, there's huge freaking elephants. They're showing up and just wrecking Camelot, and you're like, all right.
To be fair, it's only for like the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That was what brought me to that complaint with the whole magic side of it. We did miss out on Merlin.
Yeah.
And, you know, the magic in the beginning, the first bit, right, we're establishing, you know, how awesome the sword is. There's magic everywhere. We got fireballs, we got fire eyes, and we got all this stuff going on. He created these giant elephants, and it's set up for this just giant magic realm. And the rest of the film just is like, well, I can control animals.
The girl that plays the mage was another one of my big complaints. It's just lifeless performance.
Yeah.
Like, she and Arthur are supposed to have this chemistry, and you just don't buy it at all. You're like, Arthur would not be attracted to this girl that just like, I will go bring the eagles now. And you're like, what'd you say? Huh?
She could be a Terminator. Like, sign her up immediately, because...
But even Arnold had some, like, personality, you know?
More than that, yeah. Oh man, she was stoic. Like, not entertaining to me whatsoever. I could really care less if she was in the film or not. I would have much rather had it be Merlin.
Yeah.
The banter that Guy Ritchie provides in all his movies, he does do a couple scenes in this, and it's great. I love it. I think it just... I don't know. don't know what it is about seeing the banter scenes that he provides, but it's just like fun. It's like fun seeing everyone go back and forth and the quick cuts to what he's talking about. It's hilarious when he's like, oh, and then I shot a guy in the leg, and it cuts to shooting the guy in the leg. It's like so funny. You just see it right there, and that was also a worry for many people, but it worked out in this, and you're gonna get some of that if you're hoping for it.
So 2 big positives for me in this film are Charlie Hunnam as Arthur himself, and Jude Law as the villain. He completely steals the movie. He is just so fantastic. It's one of the more well-rounded villain roles that I think we've seen in the past couple of years. I think with all these superhero movies, most of the times the villains are just kind of one note, and just seeing this guy's story and Jude Law portray like what he has to do and the depths he is willing to go to accomplish his end game is just so despicable, and you're like, this dude's gotta die. He's gotta die a horrible death.
I feel like modern villains are very watered down, and I think it's because the villains that we're used to today in, you know, today's day and age of movies are all the superhero villains, the Marvel and DC and all that, and it's like you can't really push those guys. Like the Joker being an exception, but that's like the Nolan universe, and we get some here and there that are actually like, dude, I really hate this guy. Jude Law brought that. Like, he brought that you just really want to see him die, and you do not see Jude Law anymore. You see his character, and it's just incredible seeing him work and pull that off, where you're just like, dude, this guy's got to go. On top of that, we get some great turmoil scenes where he needs to make great sacrifices in order to kind of achieve this vile, evil goal of his in taking power. And in that, he really expresses, you like almost want to feel bad for him, but then you're like, well, why is he doing this in the first place? And it brings you back to like, okay, yeah, we hate this guy. And it's so great seeing him just pull off this vile, mean guy after seeing him be, you know, this lovable guy in AI and all his other, you know, lovely movies where he plays such a gentleman. And the guy's just amazing. I mean, props to him for creating this and giving us that evil villain that this movie definitely needed.
And Charlie Hunnam is really starting to grow on me as an actor. In other movies, I haven't been too impressed by him. Up to Lost City of Z, I thought he carried that movie from start to finish. And in this movie, you know, Guy Ritchie style, he just blended right in. Physicality, he got jacked for this movie, and he needed to, because that sword, you know, he's running around like Barry Allen, like, you know, chopping everybody down. You're like, oh wow.
Yeah. They kind of go raised up in the streets route, and seeing him, you know, kind of be a hooligan, and he's not quite the token hero, which, you know, is kind of nice to see, because, yeah, King Arthur wasn't brought up to be just this majestic person. He was brought up by other people, and it's cool seeing him provide this kind of street rat mentality of, like, I might, you know, be a little crooked. And he pulled that off to a T.
Alright, so what would you rate this movie?
I am going to give it a 7.5. It was a fun movie. I loved every point of it. It didn't reinvent the wheel. 8's a really high number, and I'm just like, I can't. It deserves it, but I don't know if I can give it an 8. It's a fun ride. There is some missing in the story that I wish was there, to add a little more depth to just what happens in this film, and to feel a little more for everybody. The mage, what they were thinking, I don't know. Maybe it was a good character at one point, but she just killed it, and it wasn't good. So, a couple knockoffs there. The music I did not like at first, but I kind of liked it at the end, which I'm finding is like the best music, is you don't quite like it at first, but then you give it a couple more listens. So, I'd say being a fun movie, being a great ride, 7.5 is a fair enough number, and definitely worth to go see.
Yeah, for me, Guy Ritchie's movies, when they're not quite hitting on all cylinders, it's a little style over substance, and I think you get a little bit of that here, but I think you get enough through Jude Law's character and Charlie Hunnam in the lead that you can at least appreciate the totally different spin that they're putting on this King Arthur's tale. Yeah, the mage for me was like the big, like, what, you know? But other than that, I had a lot of fun with this movie, It's a great movie. It's not doing well at the box office, guys, so please go see it because I want a sequel to this movie. So I think about 7.8 for me. It was fun. So
Awesome. Well, there it is, guys. King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, King Arthur. Go see it, please. It needs your help. We want to see the sequels. We need your help by leaving a like on the video, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and yeah, we will catch you guys on the next review. Bye.